Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Divine Journey. So I know the week has kind of had a late start to it. That's because my dad ended up having his Thanksgiving on Sunday. So I was cooking Saturday and I was gone Sunday, and then my grandmother came in and my mom's been around. This is the first year that we've actually had my mom back for the holiday season. You know, because she was in China for, what, 3.5 years? So she's finally back for good, and so she's been around, and it's been it's been so busy. So um, kind of a late start to the week, but I know this video is actually probably gonna be coming out a little bit late on Tuesday, but then tomorrow there'll be Farming Valley, and there'll be all the mods, and then there'll be one of each episode, or one episode of each series later on throughout the week, kind of spread out as I get time. So this is just a slow start to the week, so I do apologize for that. But anyways, since last episode, I know it was pointed out by first Atricus on the YouTube comments, and then Xavian on the Discord, that to get the everfull urn, we actually have to research the arcane ear, which makes absolutely no sense, but that's just how it's, the thaumic exploration has designed it to be. So I did get that research done. We've got the everfull urn, so we're going to start off by making a couple of those, just because they're quite handy, and I love those things so much. So to make the everfull urn, it's actually very, very simple. Just 3 buckets of water, 3 bricks, and a flower pot. And then we're going to need 20 aqua, 8 vacuos, and 4 percantio. Which, honestly, we should have, I think, the majority of that. I think aqua... okay, we've only got 25 aqua, so I'm going to have to get some more aqua. But percantio, right there, and then vacuos... let me go search my armor real quick, just so we can see things a little bit easier. Vacuos, right here. So I'm just going to have to cook up a little bit more aqua. So we'll go ahead and set these down. And then let's get, I'll tell you what, we'll just go with water shards instead. Let's do that. It's a little bit more convenient. We have plenty of water shards, and they stack. So until we get this thing automated, which is going to start today, we're going to start getting this thing automated today. Until we get that automated, might as well do it this way. Then we'll probably do, once we get it automated, we'll probably do maybe like water bottles, maybe? Okay, we've got the aqua that we need. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this stuff down right now. There's aqua. There's percantio. And then we need some bricks. Let's go ahead and get, I don't know, 20 of them. It's fine. It's more than what we need, but that's okay. I hate trying to catch these things. So there's 2 flower pots, and then we're going to need 6 bricks, and then we need, 6 water buckets as well. Alright, and we'll lay down the first one of these. So we'll do water bucket, water bucket, water bucket, brick, 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 and then flower pot in the center, and we'll get that running. And this is a fairly cheap craft. It's not going to take very long to make. It's pulling through the aqua right now, and then as soon as that gets done, we're going to go ahead and make another one of those, and then we'll go set those up real quick. Okay, so this one's done. I ended up pulling the angel ring. There's a bug where if you're wearing like this armor and you're flying around, and then you switch over to this armor, you can continue to fly. And then, like, all of a sudden it stopped working. And I wasn't able to fly anymore, so keep that in mind. I went ahead and just put the angel ring back in my inventory there. Okay, so we've got our 2 everfull urns. So let's go set these things up. And I love these blocks. And I know, like, I may love them too much for what they do, but I absolutely love these things. Like, they're so nifty. They're so nifty. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our everfull urn maybe pull this up, put down the everfull urn right there. You'll notice like water particles can come up out of there. And if we were to sit down our petal apothecary there, you'll notice water starts coming over here and swirling around and it fills up our petal apothecary. Okay. And then we'll pull this one up, set that right there. I don't know if I want it like that or if I want them up against this. I think I want them right there. I do believe. But that's what they do, is they'll feel anything that can accept water. They'll feel it. You can also pull water, I think, out of the top, right? I tend to use them for petal apothecaries and a few other little things like that. But it's an endless water source. It can supply water to an infinite amount of buckets. It can also be pumped out at the top to an external tank. Your urn also has the ability to fill any nearby crucibles and extinguish nearby players that are on fire. It's also able to fill nearby petal apothecaries. So, there we go. It's quite nifty. I love it. I've been waiting for those. I mean, it's not something that we need right this second, but I do want it there for our future, because we're going to have to really overhaul mana very, very soon. That's coming up. I just want to get thaumcraft situated, you know, before we go through and we do some cleanup and we do some other mod-related stuff. And the way I want to get thaumcraft situated is have Essentia automated, because that's going to make such a big difference. Okay, so anyways, we need to move back over into thaumic energistics. And the first thing that we are going to need, we talked about this last episode, is we're going to need our Essentia terminal. This thing is crazy expensive. It's crazy. We're going to need logic processors, not a problem. An ME terminal. And I'm not for sure if I have one sitting around in here. I do not. So we'll just order one of those. There we go. And then we're also going to need 2 V filters. We'll go ahead and knock out the easy stuff first. We've actually got 1 V filter in here. So, V filter. And that is silverwood. There we go. There's 2 V filters. Okay, so that part is done. And I think the only thing left that we have to make is the expensive things, right? Oops, wrong terminal. Yeah, the Essentia reservoirs. These are, they're not terrible, but they are a little bit expensive because they require void metal ingots. So altogether, we're going to need 8 void metal ingots. Luckily, I prepped those right before the episode. A little bit expensive, but and then we're also going to need 4 warded jars. And I've got void jars. I don't have warded jars. Whoops. So let me get, I don't know, give me like 40 mana glass. Okay, there's 8 crystal bell jars. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a bunch of these. It's 4 per and we need 4 of them. Okay, so give me like 20 more. How am I out of nether wart? Okay. Let me pop over there and see what's going on, because I should have nether warts. We set that up and it should be producing nether warts. Okay, it seems to be running. I don't know if just I've used up so much nether wart over the past few episodes making warded jars or what it is, but I did get some more of those, some more concentrated essence being crafted. So that's running. Let's go ahead and get, I'm going to need more mana glass as well. Give me, I don't know, like 60 more of that. Luckily, this stuff is fairly cheap to craft, because you do go through a lot of this. Alright, so there's 8 more crystal bell jars. And then we should be able to get our warded jars, I should think. Because the rest of this is all pretty cheap. So give me 16 warded jars. Awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this over here and let it charge up for a minute. Okay, so that part's done. The void metal. That's right, we do need the void metal. Did I just throw something down? No. Alright, so void metal. There we go, 8 pieces of that. Essentia reservoir. Oh, it's Essentia buffers that we need. These require Essentia tubes, glass vials, and Essentia valves. So we're going to need a bunch of Essentia tubes. And that's a bunch of quicksilver. Oh, make me, I don't know, 20 quicksilver. And let me grab this back. Should be filled, yeah. Okay, so make me, I don't know, 40 Essentia tubes. Sounds good. And then Essentia buffers. Glass vials. These take soft clay jars. So make me a stack of those. We're definitely going to need those once we get into witchery, so that's fine. And make me 64 glass vials. And then Essentia valves, these just require a lever with the Essentia tube. So make me, I need one more lever, but I just need like 4 of these. So there we go. And then we need the Essentia buffers. So what am I missing? Oh, that's a restricted Essentia tube. That's not a, I thought that was a regular one. Okay, well that's fine. These just require some wool. Or no, is it stone? Am I crazy? Yeah, it's just any kind of stone. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And then Essentia buffer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's done. And then we get to lay this thing out, and then we have to get the, oh yeah, we have to get all the Essentia for it as well. So the terminal. This right here. For the reservoirs, it is 8 Percantio, 8 Permutatio, 8 Vacuos, 8 Aqua for each one. So we're going to need 32 of each of those. Vacuos, oh, we're just shy of it. Of course, we're just shy of it. Percantio we have enough of. Let's see where I'm at on Aqua at the moment. There's 17 Aqua. I should have the Permutatio, I think. So let me get like 16 more water stones. Or water shards, I mean. So we've got that running. And then for the terminal, what all was it? It was, for the reservoir, Percantio, Aqua. We've got those settled. Vacuos, we need just one more of. And then we need Permutatio, which we currently have 9 of. Okay, so there's our Aqua. Our Percantio, Vitreous. I was able to store all of it, okay. Okay, so that's done. We've got the Percantio, we've got the Aqua. Then we need the Permutatio and the Vacuos. Okay, so we've got the Vacuos. And then the Permutatio. We're going to need a little bit more of that. Oh, a sudden and unnatural hunger consumes you. What that does, it gives you unnatural hunger for 4 minutes. And basically when that's going on, you have to consume rotten flesh. Your hunger begins to fade. And there we go. Now we just have regular hunger instead of unnatural hunger. I should probably keep like a stack of rotten flesh in the bag. Honestly, from this point moving forward, it is going to become pretty important that we have something to feed that unnatural hunger. Okay, so we've got our 32 Permutatio, so that's perfect. We'll just go ahead and pop on through. We'll set Permutatio down, Vacuos, Percantio, and Aqua. Okay, so that's all set. And then we just have to lay this thing out, and it was, let me double check this. It was 8 of each, 4 warded jars, an Essentia buffer, 2 void metal ingots per craft. Okay. I had this watering can out. I was watering the nether wart, trying to help speed it up, so. Alright, so void metal, Essentia buffer. Oh, I think I used one of my voided jars to put Essentia into it. Whoops. Whoops. I'll get that sorted real quick. That should be everything laid out. So let me grab our wand. And we'll go ahead and start this running. And then let's... I put metallum in it. I did. Okay. Well, I can easily drain that if I make another void metal ingot. It's, what, 16 Ignis. I'm going to need a little bit more Ignis, but... Oh, and our first Essentia reservoir is done. So let's go ahead, lay out one more of these. Then I'm going to go get our other warded jar back. And that. There you go. A thick fog appears from somewhere, or from nowhere. Something stars in its depths. Once more. I'll go ahead and get that running. But it means we should have a shade somewhere around in here. Sometimes they're hard to find, especially like the way our base is laid out with the different levels. I don't know. We'll eventually see one because I want to capture one. And I do not have, I don't know, which one is it? I do not have a soul vial on me. I am going to need to grab a soul vial just in case one pops up. Because once we do find one, I do want to capture him. Alright, Essentia Reservoir. And I'm going to go ahead and lay out another one. There we go. We'll go ahead and get that started. And is our warded jar is empty. Okay, perfect. And we got another void metal ingot. Those things are so expensive. Like, oh my gosh. So expensive. There we go. And we'll do one more of these. Then we've pretty much got... okay, the fog is going away. Then we've pretty much got our Essentia terminal. Which is going to be great. And then we can start getting into the storage and stuff like that. So, oh, we're definitely on our way. Definitely on our way. By the way, if you want metallum, one thing I wanted to bring up, if you want metallum, the way that I do it, generally, like for something like this, it takes 64 metallum, which is just astronomical. I use iron. Iron is just straight up, it's 4 metallum, that's all it is. You don't have a bunch of byproducts. It's quite handy. Because I could just throw in, you know, like a bunch of iron into a thing, and that's all it's pumping out, so. It's quite nice. Okay, so we've got that. We have done that part. Then, all we have to do is get the terminal. I think we've pretty much got everything already in order for this. Essentia reservoirs, and then the thaumium embossed infernal wand. So 15.2 of every aspect. There is our Essentia terminal. God. Honestly, I don't know if I'll make more of those or not. They're so expensive. So expensive. Okay, it says we got 2 quests with unclaimed rewards. Oh, void metal. Yeah, that's right, because we did 5 void metal. And we're going to get 4 luminizers from that. And then in addition, which I still need to get this stuff made. We have to make the void helms. I haven't got around to making all that void metal. This is a little bit more expensive. I was looking at it and I don't even want to touch this until we get Essentia automated, just because there's so many things going into that. I don't want to mess with that right now. Alright, so Essentia terminal, that is done. We're going to get 20 ME smart cable. Alright. And then we're going to put our Essentia terminal down, and its spot is right there. Right there. And we can open this up and you can see, I mean, there's nothing in here right now. Because at the moment we are not storing any Essentia, but we will be here in just a moment. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to want to do is we need to make ourselves storage discs. Okay. And these aren't terrible to make. Let's take a look here. ME storage. And we should have it's Essentia storage. Yeah, here we go. These right here. ME Essentia storage terminals. They require a little bit of Ignis and Ordo, some Sardis quartz. And you can also use pure Sardis quartz, which is what we're going to use. And then ethereal essence. So, which we have a lot of that stuff. And this should free up space for more ethereal essence to be pumped in So I'll probably start the mob farm up again after this. So, Essentia, they're trying to give us charge service. I don't want charge service. I want pure service. Well, then again, we do have 14,000 charge service. Okay, I just want pure, and let's get, I don't know, as many as we can make with that. There's 59, and then we are out of Ignis in this at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and make like 64 of these, I think, for right now. We'll let that drain off the aspects that it needs. 90 Ignis. Not going to be able to fill it up right now, but that's fine. I mean, technically it would have filled itself up to a certain point. I could have waited on that, but those little effects of like the auto-filling, to me, I only use them when I'm out. You know, I'm out doing something or whatnot. I don't have a whole lot of need for it. Oh, wow, it did fill it up, though. Huh. Maybe it charged up its 20%, like, really quick or something. I don't know. I have no clue. Anyways, 5 more of those. Okay. And then we can upgrade these to 4K. Oh, wait. I mean, I have a quest turn, right? Yes. And we get 10 Essentia tubes. Awesome. And then, next up, the 4K Essentia storage. This just requires the 1Ks, the calculation processors, and more ethereal essence. So, let's go ahead and lay this out. And I want as many as we can make. So there's 16 4Ks. Okay, so that quest is done. We get an Essentia storage housing. And then next up, they want us to make 16K. Which this requires Salus Mundus. This is probably where we're going to stop for right now on these. Because, how many balance shards do I have? I have 14. I mean, technically I could pull off 16K. I mean, truth be told, 4K, that's 4,000 Essentia that can be stored in that. Which is quite a bit. And honestly, the way I'm planning on doing this, 4,000 would be more than enough. So, because I'm planning on doing just 4Ks throughout, and you can store up to, I think, 8 types in an Essentia. Let me check. I think it's 8 or 10 different types. 12 types. 12 different types of Essentia in a single storage cell. But I'm only planning on storing one Essentia type per cell. Okay? So we're actually going to have a lot of cells. It doesn't matter, though, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, with AE, because, you know, you can just do however you want. I'm going to do a single type of Essentia per cell. So that way we can have, like, 4,000 storage in each one. For any kind of, I don't know, overflow, and then after a certain point it can get voided, that kind of thing. But I think that's how I want to do it. But I will go through, and a little bit later, once we have some of this stuff automated, I'll go and I'll make a 64K. Just don't really need a 64K at the moment. You could do it with a 64K, but I don't. I just want to do a single cell per type, because it works out fairly well. So, okay, now let's get, well, I'm just going to change one of these for right now. There's a 4K Essentia storage cell. We'll go ahead and grab that. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make some ME drives. And I'm going to go ahead and make a few of these. I don't know if I want to do drive fixtures or ME drives. Drive fixtures hold less, though. We do have storehouses automated. Let me go ahead and order, like, let's just start with, like, maybe 2 storehouses to start with. And there's one. Okay. They're crafting. And then we can get our ME drives. I am going to need the dark pressure plates. 2. There you go. And we'll get Oh, I'm out of Fluix cable. Go ahead and give me 100 of that. Why does it keep... Why does it keep clearing my searches whenever I do anything? Okay, so there's 2 ME drives. I mean, that's going to hold, what, 20 of these? That's going to be plenty for us for today. That'll be fine. And then what we're going to need to do is, let's see, I'm going to have to run cables over, because I think I'm going to have the Essentia drives, and I can't remember exactly where. I think the P2P tunnel is all the way at the end, isn't it? Yeah, there's a cable that runs right there. That's perfect. We're going to use this dense Fluix cable. This is the one where the P2P comes out of. Okay, I tell you what, let's come over here, because this is where the thing actually is. I want its own separate connection line, I think, because we're probably going to end up needing 2 or more connection lines altogether. Yeah, there's a P2P right there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go... Let's see. I'm half tempted to just make a separate thing. I might actually do that, because the thaumcraft area is one thing, but the Essentia area is going to use so many channels. I might do a separate quantum bay. See, that's the library connection. No, I don't have to have that. I can just run it all through this one. Yeah. Okay. So let me get dense cable. And let me get some kind of color that we're not using on the side. Lime sounds good. And what we'll do is we'll just set a lime connection down like right there. And then let me get a couple P2Ps. 2 to start with will be fine. And then my memory card. And we'll just plug in the P2P right there. We'll plug up the smart cable right there. And let's see, memory card. We'll shift right click that P2P. So we got that saved. And that's most everything that we need on this side. And then let me grab, I don't know if we're going to need it, but let's get some cable anchors. And let's get, I'm going to need a bunch more dense Fluix. So let me get 200 of it. Sounds good. So we'll have that ordered. And then let's pop over here. And now the fun begins. I have to run this all the way over from the library area over to there. Basically. Because I'm just going to have its own like separate little connection that comes through. Whoops. I'm making a mess of things here. There we go. Dense cable. And I need back over there. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change this up just a little bit. Let me pull up this stuff. Pull up that. We're going to have this come straight up. We're going to break off this connection here. That kind of winds around here. And instead we're going to have the dense cable come over and hit that. Let me actually... let me cable anchor that. Technically I could just not have that right there and just connect it through right there, but that's fine. We're just going to cable anchor that. Okay. And then this is going to come up as the dense line. And I need to find the point in which it changes over. So let me grab, I'm going to need one other P2P. And I'm going to have to go change the memory card settings real quick as well. Memory card. Because there's a point where it turns into Fluix, goes over to the terminals. That's still going to be connected up to the same line that we had it on. Which is the library connection. Okay? Because that library connection handles the general thaumcraft area stuff. So let's do, library was the cyan, which is this one. Shift right click, grab that. Because these P2Ps, of course, you can only have one input on a P2P line, but you can have multiple outputs. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to have the library as one output. We're going to have the thaumcraft area as another output. And right there is where the Fluix plugs in and goes over to the terminal. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break this off a little ways. And we're going to put smart cable, P2P. We'll go ahead and right click that, load settings. And I'm going to go ahead and clear that now. And then we'll just plug in this dense line like that. Okay, so that should be plugged up again. And then let me pop over here and let me grab the new memory card settings. That is the one that's specifically for the Essentia area. And like I said, eventually we're probably going to have probably 2 or 3 lines that connect into the Essentia area because it is quite a big undertaking for our thaumcraft area. So let me grab that. Successfully save settings. And this line, where exactly is it going? Oh yeah, the alchemy area needs one too. Well, I'll tell you what. Instead of having... Yeah, let's do this. Let's have this cyan line come up like that. We're going to break this off a little bit. And I'm just going to connect it with Smart Fluix. That's fine. And we'll just bring it over like that. So now the alchemy area is plugged up again as well. Okay, because, I mean, that wasn't running a P2P. It's still not running a P2P. You know, it's just plugged up separate. Now, really, I could change all this over, I think. I believe... Let me double check real quick. I think the alchemy area only uses 8 channels, but I could be wrong. Actually, I think long term, I think it supports more. So I may have to change that over to dense cable, which is fine. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've got, back in here, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that needs a dense cable line to come up. So I am going to have to change that over to dense cable. Not a problem. Not a problem. Honestly, I don't know. I'm half tempted to make it a P2P line. That way it can be separate and thaumcraft can have a dedicated 32 channels. Which this may eventually become dense cable, you know, down through there. But for right now, I'm kind of just adjusting things as we need to adjust it. So let's actually do just dense cable that comes up. And let me go get some new memory card settings and another P2P. And another cable line that is specifically for the alchemy area. And will probably be used for some thaumcraft that kind of goes up into that area, because there's going to be that section of thaumcraft that kind of rises up on those upper sections. So we'll probably use some there as well. But let's get P2P. And I guess really I need 2 more P2Ps, because we're making a separate line for the alchemy area. And then let's get cable, dense cables. Let's do like a, I don't know, a light blue. So dense light blue. We'll have this come out like right here. P2P on that. Smart cable. Then we'll grab that connection. And we'll just pop back over here and we'll get this put in. Let's see. We will have the P2P line. I'll actually have it start like right here. So smart cable, P2P, light blue, right there. And we'll just load those settings. Okay, yeah, see, that's using 11 of 32 channels. So now everything's plugged back up. Okay, now we're all situated to start running over to the Essentia area. So let me grab that connection once more. This is the last time, I promise. So we'll grab the lime connection. And then our dense cable, that stuff's done. So let's go ahead and grab a bit of that. And I'm also going to want just some Fluix cable. Oh yeah, I ordered a bunch, but then I used it for dense cable, so make me 100 more of those. Okay, and now we can run this connection over. So basically we need to carry it over to right there, where it says here. So let's do dense cable, just come out right here. We'll bring this connection over, and I want to run dense cable all the way over to the Essentia area because it's probably going to end up being more cables that are ran than just one connection. So we'll be able to plug up P2Ps back here, no problem. Okay, so right now we're like, yeah, right above this. So let me bring these dense cables down. Along through here. There we go. Then I'm going to run these just right over so that we're right above the Essentia smelting and everything. So if we were to come down, that's perfect. Right here. So we'll just come back to about right there, and then let me kind of open this up because we are going to have a bit of cableage going on here. And this is going to grow over time. I can already tell you. Okay, so we're going to put a P2P right... Oops, no, not right there. We're going to put smart cable... Actually trim that back by one. Smart cable, P2P. And then let's go ahead and load our settings. Go, and then we're going to have a lime connection that comes out, just kind of runs down, and I'm just going to have dense Fluix. Doesn't matter if it's all same color or not. And we'll have the lime connection come out right there. Okay, so we've got our cables ran. We're presently right behind the Arcane Olympics, which is where we want to be. Okay, so now the fun begins. Now all the great fun begins. Okay, I'll tell you what, I think I want the storage drives to be right over here. Okay, the Essentia area is over there, but I want the actual drive bays to be right in this section. So I'm actually going to pull these up. I may actually shift that Fluix over by like one, because I'm going to use Super Soarin' drive right here. So let's see, we've got cable anchors. Let's get some of that Fluix that we got. And then let me get storage, buses. Give me, I don't know, like 2 of those. Really only need, I think, 1, honestly. And then interface, let's change it over to a flat one. And then I'm going to want some quartz fiber cable. And then let's go ahead and actually shift this line over to like right there. Yeah. And we'll just pull this up. Okay. And then what we can do is we can put in our ME drives. We'll have it like bam, bam, and then of course have like 4 more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a storage bus and interface. And then let me go ahead and cable anchor right here, 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 here. Yeah, that'll be great. And then also cable anchor here as well. And then what we're going to do is plug this up, and actually let me get my wrench. Certus quartz wrench right here, and I'll put away the memory card and this wrench. I don't need those anymore. And actually right here I'm going to put down a quartz fiber cable. So supply this side with power. So then we can plug that up. And we'll bring cables up like that. Cables up like that. And then that should be everything for right now. That's going to evolve a little bit because we're going to add an oblivion jar later, which basically voids any Essentia that goes into it. So we will have an oblivion jar, which will be the 7th connection because, you know, we've got the interface right there. That's one channel. Then we've got 6 ME drives. So we're up to 7, and then we'll have an oblivion jar. That's our 8th channel, and that's going to be it. Okay, so just a little bay here with some drives in it. That's going to hold all of our Essentia. Okay? Alright, so let me dump some of this stuff out for right now. I don't want to be packing all this stuff around. And right here we've got our first Essentia storage cell. So the next thing that I want to get is this right here, the Essentia cell workbench. Oh, that's not really terribly expensive, but qubit cells, qubit clusters, RF exciters, diffusion cores. I need more Essentia storage components. Okay, so that's the next thing that I want is the Essentia workbench. Alright. Well, let's take a look. We're going to need 2 1K. Let's get, it was using like all kinds of Sardis there. Give me 2 of these. And I'm going to go ahead and lay these out on our... Oops. There you go. Our runic matrix setup. And then the next thing that we're going to need is the... Let's see. What, diffusion cores? I guess would probably be the next thing. Diffusion. It's both diffusion. Okay. Entropy crystal clusters. Give me 1, 2, 1, 2 of those. We will automate these things a bit later. Once we get our V network in, we can actually start automating stuff from the work table. We're also going to need annihilation cores. Give me 1, 2. And then we're going to need quicksilver. We're going to need 8 of that. Okay, there we go. And then we need the Salus Mundus. I need 4 pieces of that. So 2 diffusion cores. And we'll go ahead and lay these out. We'll put them right there and right there. And then Essentia cell workbench. Now we just need the 4 qubit cells and the cell workbench, and then we need the Essentia, which I think probably Percantio, Potential we probably already got, but we're going to need Machina and Vinculum, which is fine. So, qubit cells. These require amplification crystals, qubit clusters, level 1s. I'm going to need casings. Alright, those are crafting. The qubit cells. These. Oh yeah, we're going to need 4 of these things. RF exciters. Let's get those. And then I need amplification crystals, which take weather crystals. I should know how to make those already. No, I do not. Water and diamond. Amplification crystals, there's 4 of those. And then... Oh, but that's all to make 1. I'm making stuff for 1 qubit cell. Okay. Make me like 10 of these real quick. Thanks. There's 1 qubit crystal. There's cluster. There's 3. There's 1 of those. Oh my gosh. And I need more slime. Because we were never able to get the slime to work. The slime trays to be auto-harvested. Or we never... Not with the harvesting. We could do it. I need to run slimes through through the mob farm. Does it not use... Because we've got blue slime. Before I go out and capture a slime, does it not... Yeah, it should be able to use the blue slime. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and make me like 10 more iron casings, and we're set. Okay. I will sort something out for slimes. I just haven't yet. Go ahead and make me, I don't know, 20 more cubit crystals. And then we're going to need the cubit clusters. We're going to need one more of those. And in the cubit cells, we need the RF exciters. So there's 12 of those, and now we can get, oh yeah, the amplification crystals. Okay, and then cubit cells, there's another one. These do not stack. So there's 4. Okay, so we'll lay these out, 3 and 4. Okay, so that part's done. I believe that's all done. Essentia, actually I'll just look it up as workbench, because I know we're going to have to craft the original cell workbench as well. Essentia cell workbench, yeah, that's all of that. The cell workbench, fairly easy to make. We are going to need, is that Enderium base? Yes, that's Enderium base. So make me 2 pieces of Enderium base. There we go. And our cell workbench. Okay. So, that goes there. Now we just have to get the Essentia together. So, workbench. We need 24 Percantio, 32 Potentia. And where did my... There's my pick. Okay. Let me go ahead and just pull up all these jars. Oh, it's not going to be too much longer that we actually have to do things manual, which is great. We'll take this jar right here of Percantio. Okay, so we've got Percantio. We should have a Potentia. There's 10. There's 26. That's plenty. 36 of that. Okay, now we need the 2 that we haven't really encountered all that much. Let me go set these 2 down. So Potentia, Percantio, and then we need Vinculum and Machina. Machina is all kinds of things. Hoppers have it. Only 1 per hopper though. Builders have 30. Droppers, iron chests have quite a bit. Is there anything that doesn't have like... Comparators aren't too bad. I might actually do comparators. Smeltery controllers, not too bad. Oh, actually levers are just straight, nothing but Machina. That's perfect. So let's get like a stack of levers. There we go. 1 stack of levers. And then we're also going to need Vinculum. So workbench. This stuff, we don't need quite as much of it. This can come from soul sand or amber bearing stone. Probably some more stuff, but that's just what I've researched so far that had it. So we're going to go with soul sand. And let's do a half stack of soul sand. Okay? Because we're also going to get some spiritus and something else. Something else. But there's soul sand. There's levers. Okay. So we'll get that running. And that's really all that we need. We need how much of each one is it? I think it's what? 24 or whatever Vinculum and 32 Machina. Yeah, 24 and 32. Okay, so we'll give that just a little bit to get that stuff smelted up. It's not going to take too long. Okay, so there's our 32 Vinculum, and then we just need the, there you go, 36 Machina. Perfect. Perfect. So we are all set for this. And I think we've got everything laid out. Cubic crystals. Yep, everything looks good. Okay, where did my wand go? Oh yeah, it's still in the terminal here. Let me grab that. And we'll get that running. Okay, now while that's running, let's go ahead and make ourselves a few more Essentia storage cells. Let's do... let's see, 4K Essentia storage. And it does take thaumium. Oh god. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna definitely be making is one for Percantio. For sure. I do have a little bit of thaumium in here. I don't know. Okay, we got enough for 3 sales right now. That's fine. That's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Which I think, judging by the time on the video, I haven't edited the footage just yet, but judging by the time on the video, it'll probably be next episode before we actually start automating, you know, Essentia coming in and stuff like that. But we've got the groundworks kind of laid out now, which is great. That terminal was like the worst thing ever. That thing was expensive. Very, very expensive. Okay, so it's absorbing the last few items here. And the last cubit crystal. And ta-da. We got our new Essentia workbench. So for right now, I'm just going to set this right here. Just kind of temporary. And what we can do is we can put Essentia cells into here and dictate what kind of Essentia can go into these. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's start with Percantio. Percantio is the big one that we definitely need to get sorted. So what we're going to do... actually, I think we can do it just like this. We can put the cell into here and put Percantio. There we go. And you can see now that the Essentia storage cell says partitioned below the types of storage or types of Essentia that it can store. So we'll just grab that. That one can only store Percantio. And I tell you what, let me get an anvil. Because I want to go ahead and just name these so that if we ever need them, it's very easy to find them. So we'll just put down an anvil right there. This one is partitioned, and we're going to call this one Percantio. Okay, and I'm totally using these jars to to get the name right. Okay, so we have one here named Percantio. And if we put this into here, there we go. And then if we come over here to our Essentia terminal, and we were to put in, say, the void jar of Essentia, is it... For some reason, I was thinking that these would pull in... But they may not. Let me get some of these glass files. I was thinking you could manually input the stuff. We may have to go ahead and do the import bus. I was thinking that you could do that manually, but maybe not. We'll just get an Essentia import bus. This requires 2 thaumium, which is perfect. That's how much we have left over. We're also going to need a couple warded jars. We do have one right here. And then we're going to need one of those diffusion cores. So we'll start with the, we're going to need a filtered Essentia tube as well, which is not a problem. And then diffusion core, we are going to need the 2 entropy crystal clusters. And then we're going to need an annihilation core. Two Salus Mundus. And then we're going to require 4 Quicksilver. There's our diffusion core, and then we should be... I think that's everything for our import bus, right? One more warded jar. Okay, so crystal bell jar. There we go. And these import buses, we're going to need a bunch of these. Like, come next episode. So honestly, between episodes, I might craft up some of these, because we're going to need them. We're definitely going to need them. Okay, so we got our import bus. And then what we're going to do is, let's say, this. For right now, this is very temporary, just so we can get the drawers emptied, or the jars emptied. We're going to put our import bus down right here. And we'll just put down our jar of Essentia. And you're going to see that the jar is going to start getting drained. And this is going up. Okay, so it's 1 byte per Essentia. So a 4K, of course 4K is not very big, but since we're going to do 1 type of Essentia per sale, we can have up to 4,000 of any Essentia in our storage, which I think is great. 4K, 4,000, that's a lot of Essentia. Truth be told, that is a lot of Essentia. So we'll be able to store up quite a bit of this stuff. And then let me get this jar of Percantio. And we'll get that drained. We just freed up a warded jar, which is great. Okay, and then we have 2 more cells here. So let's put one of these into there. And let's store something that we have a bunch of, which is alienness. 1, 2, 3, and I should have 4. There we go. And we'll get this stuff stored away. So we're going to say in this Essentia cell, we're going to say alienness goes in this one. And then we'll just quickly pop over. We're going to name this. It's 5 levels just to name. But I'm so happy with the point that we're at because this is the groundwork. This is like getting ready to have Essentia stored away. And not have to mess with the stuff anymore. Okay, so alienness. There we go. We'll just pop that right into there. And if we were to put this down, you'll notice that alienness only goes into this storage cell. Now, I do need to get some speed upgrades for this. So let me get acceleration cards. Give me 2 more of these. And really where we're at right now, I need to go through all the molecular assemblers and add acceleration cards as well. But oh, this can only have 2. Yeah, Essentia import can only have 2. Okay. But for example, if I was to pull out this alienness one and I set down, say, a jar of alienness right there, you'll notice that it does not get pulled out. It doesn't go anywhere. Put this back in, and pow, it drains it. It looks like it's 2. It almost looks like it's 2. I wonder why. Why is this not showing up? That may be why I can't drain it manually. Okay, let me try something. If I was to pull out this, and I came over to, let me get actually a piece of Fluix cable. I may have to move this around a little bit and change up the way the cables are ran, because this may not work with a Super Soaring drive. Like, I know machines and stuff won't, but generally all the storage and stuff will, but unless I just mess something up somewhere. So I put these 2 into there. Aha, it's not working with the Super Soaring. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll tell you what then. This Super Soaring drive, we don't need it anymore then. And I guess that means I'm going to have to change this all over to dense to bring over our storage line. So, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this as just dense all the way up through here. Okay, so now it should be working. Should be. So let me dump some of this stuff out here. Let's try this once more. Alienness, Percantio. Now they should show up once it registers. There we go. So we've got 128 alienness. We have 63 Percantio. And if you look in here, it seems to be 2 Essentia makes a byte. Okay, so every 2 Essentia that you have, it makes a byte. So technically then, this can actually store over 8,000 Essentia, which that is awesome. That's a lot of Essentia that can be stored in this. So let's go ahead and drain off the rest of these alienness jars. And if you have the speed upgrades in this, I mean, they drain pretty quickly. There we go. So now those 4 jars, you know, before it felt like, man, we have so much alienness. Now we have 256 out of like 8,000. So it doesn't feel like quite so much anymore because we have plenty of storage for, you know, having more Essentia than we did before. And then next up, I guess I'll take ITER, because I think we have quite a bit of that as well. Like 3 jars, yeah. And I'm going to have to get a bit more of these cells crafted, but I'll work on that between episodes and continue to expand on this, because I'm going to have to make up a bunch more thaumium, which is never any fun at the moment. It's about, like, by next episode, it's not going to be too bad, but okay, so we've got ITER. partitioned, dump that into there, and then drain off all of this. So now I don't really have any need for void jars because we're not going to be voiding Essentia. Now, once we have all this stuff automated, we will have an oblivion jar in the event that a cell fills up. And say, it's something like, for example, cooking, if we end up cooking copper for permutation, it also makes metallum. It makes all those different things. For example, copper, vacuose, permutation, metallum. Okay. I'm not for sure that's what we're going to actually use for permutation and vacuose, but if we do, in that case, maybe metallum. Of course, with void seeds, we may not have to void it, but if something happens and that thing fills up, that's what we're going to have the oblivion jar for. So we'll get into that a bit more come like next episode. So, but basically we'll have just 6 ME drives right here. We'll have an oblivion jar right over here with a low priority, and then we should be all set. And right here we're going to set the priority on these up to say 1,000. Give them a little bit higher priority. Okay, so Essentia's being stored now. Now I just have to go make up more thaumium to get more housings. And then next episode we will get into a bit more oh yeah, Essentia import bus. We've done that. We get 16 charged Stardust quartz. Awesome. But next episode, when we come back, we're going to get into a little bit more in-depth stuff. I'm going to spend a bit of time between this episode and next crafting things, thaumium, sales, partitioning storage, giving us space for all this Essentia that we're creating. And then next episode, we'll probably start automating some of the Essentia using a combination of export buses, import buses, and level emitters, Essentia level emitters. So that's what I'm thinking is we're going to have all these set up running off of just level emitters. So that if, say for example, we have one right here that's running, I don't know, charcoal through, and it's making Ignis and Potentia. Then what we'll do is we'll have an ME Essentia level emitter that's saying like if your levels are below, I don't know, maybe 1,000. Okay, if we have less than 1,000 of the Essentia in the system, pump more charcoal in there. Okay, and that's going to be the case for Ignis and Potentia. So if either of those drop, then it's going to pump more in there. It's going to make more Ignis and Potentia Essentia. Okay, so we'll get into that next episode, and we'll start kind of automating Essentia. And once we get that automated, we have we have storage, we have Essentia automated, and then we start getting into Essentia providers and infusion providers. Honestly, after that point, thaumcraft is easy mode, and then we have to set up our V network. It's going to be a lot of technical stuff over the next few episodes, but once that stuff's set up, thaumcraft is literally automated, and it's just a matter of pushing a button and saying, I want, diffusion cores. I want this. I want that. And of course, we will have to automate the runic matrix. Also, not terribly difficult to do. It's a little bit later on, though, I think, because the claw is... I seem to remember the claw requiring advanced alchemical constructs, primordial pearls. We are going to have to get into those before too long. And I think the rest of this stuff is not terrible. Yeah, it's not too bad. Oh yeah, I want to get into wand focuses as well, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I think honestly, the only thing holding this back is primordial pearls. We're going to need 4 of those per claw. So a little bit expensive, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. So, but anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so I am going to end it out here. I do apologize that this episode's coming out a little bit later in the week and a little bit later today than it was intended to. Like I said, though, this week. It's a busy week for me because my mom spent 3.5 years over in China working, and it'll be our first year with her, for the whole holiday season. And so I've been spending a bit of time with her. My grandmother, she came in. She lives about 3 hours away, so spending a bit of time with her as well, and family and all that stuff. So it's been hectic. Plus, I've been cooking and did a trial turkey the other day, and which we've been eating on that, just kind of like, instead of having to buy groceries, we just did our trial turkey. and it turned out great, and I was very, very happy with it. It turned out beautiful, and it's only like the second time I think I've ever made a turkey, because, you know, this it's only like the second time I've done Thanksgiving on, like, at my house, you know, kind of thing. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thaumcraft's about to get a whole lot easier. And of course, if you guys have any questions or anything, do let me know. I'll do my best to get those answered for you. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I hope you guys are having, will have a wonderful Thanksgiving week and all that stuff. And if you go Black Friday shopping, be careful, don't get stabbed. We're going to do a little bit of Black Friday shopping, but not a whole lot. So nothing too crazy this year. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys then.